Hello and welcome to this episode of SPSS one-on-one series with the Warrior Analytics. Today we look at scenarios where we are running Poisson or negative binomial regression, but we have an offset variable. What is an offset variables? Let's start with scenarios. We said Poisson and negative binomial regression, we are modeling a count outcome, a non-negative integer. But at times, the counts of an event are estimated over a period of follow-up. Individuals are not followed up for the same time. For example, you're looking at patients and your outcome is patient visits, and then you're looking at their age, gender, but the time followed up or the exposure is not the same for each patient. Okay? The problem here is that a patient followed up for 12 months is likely to have more visits than one followed for less, not because that person of 12 months having more visits is more sicker. Okay? So months followed becomes an exposure variable. We have scenario number 2 whereby at times our count outcome is estimated over a population at risk. For example, we are looking at malaria cases in 3 districts, District A, B, and C, and by looking at just the numbers without considering the populations, if someone came and used raw counts, where is comparing District A with the District C, saying maybe District C doubles the amount of cases in District A without considering the numbers in each district, then that would be misleading. There you would at least need to compare rates, maybe cases per person at risk. So in both cases, this becomes our offset variables that we have to specify in SPSS or an analytical software, that these may influence or affect our analysis and the interpretations. So that's what we are looking at today. How do we run a Poisson and a negative binomial when we have an offset variable? To understand the genesis of these offset variables and how we are going to apply them, remember the original or the general formula. I'm just putting them simply. This general formula for Poisson is like this. So if we have an exposure variable, there is an exposure variable catered for in that model. And so, if I'm to alternatively write this formula, it will be written in this format. Meaning, I'm not just modeling the count outcome, but I'm modeling a rate per the unit of exposure variable. If it is months, maybe count per month. If it is a population, count or number of malaria cases per 1,000 or per population at risk. So that's where the offset variables become important. So for this episode, we are going to use a fictitious data set that is designed specifically to demonstrate this type of analysis. And here, our outcome is number of visits to the doctor, and we have our independent variables, age, gender, and pollution levels. But besides this, we are looking at exposure time. How long has, for instance, this person been followed up to determine the number of visits. If, say, this person was followed up for 10 months, they have 3 visits. This person was followed up for 3 months, they have 0 visits. So this is exposure variable or offset variable. But the way we've seen here, it is the log of the exposure variable that has to be in the model. So first of all, we are going to calculate a variable called log of exposure time. Then from there, we shall be using that to specify it as an offset variable. And to calculate, we are going to go to transform, compute variable, and we are computing log. We give it a name, log exposure, whatever name you want to give it. Then the expression, we are going to get a function from here. You can click on all and look for log, the natural log here, this one here. Once I click on it, I use this button to take it to the numeric expression box, and then which variable? It is exposure time that I want to get. It is log. Then I click OK. So when I go to my data set, you can now see that we have a log of our exposure. So from there, as usual, we saw how to fit a Poisson and a negative binomial regression in our previous 2 episodes. So we are going to start with fitting a Poisson regression with an offset variable. Here we shall go to analyze, generalized linear models, and then generalized linear models. We are going to use a Poisson with a log linear link. Then response, it is our number of visits. Then predictors, we are going to put the categorical variables. Under covariates, we are going to put there age. Under model, we are going to use all these variables for our model as main effects. Under statistics, we are going to put include exponential parameter estimates. So that is how we would, if we run it like this, we are running a normal Poisson regression. So we shall have to go to our predictors. Under our predictors, that's where we have an offset variable here, and we have, if we have it like this time round, we are going to click and put it there. Once everything is set, we can click OK, and we shall see we have our outputs here, which are similar to the negative binomial regression outputs and also Poisson regression outputs. So here we have our model, and we are looking at, we are modeling this using Poisson with the log link function, but we have also an offset variable called log of exposure. The case processing summary, all the other things as we had seen them in the previous episodes. If you've not watched how to interpret this, I strongly recommend that you go and watch our previous videos on negative binomial and Poisson regression. They are well explained to detail. So that's how you would run a Poisson regression with an offset variable. A similar way, if you wanted to run negative binomial with an offset variable, still you go to analyze, generalized linear models. Then under type of model, you're changing this to the negative binomial, but I would always prefer to use your customize and use here negative binomial and ask the model to estimate the value for itself. And then here the link function we are using is log. Then we say OK. So similar output, similar interpretation. So that is how additionally you can run a model if you had offset variables. So in our next episode, we are going to look at what is modified Poisson regression analysis. What does it mean? So if you find this video helpful, support by liking and subscribing to the videos so that you don't miss out on any of our episodes. So see you in the next video.